Time is constantly moving. I always say that days are long and years are short. The more time passes, the more and more I feel like I'm in a rush. The more I dream about, the more I want in life, the more I feel myself falling into a state of rush. And it feels like I've fallen behind. And that's how I feel. Like the world and my peers and my family are all moving towards something, while I feel like I'm at work and rushing towards a goal that feels impossible. And sometimes I feel like I'm just playing catch up and that I'll never actually catch up to everyone else. And when people ask me if I could have any superpower, I would always tell them I wanted super speed, so I could do more and be everywhere all at once, and do everything I want to do, and the Flash was one of my favorite heroes growing up. And I thought that super speed was so cool, and I loved the CW show, and the more I thought about it, I really enjoyed Barry Allen. I know more people prefer Wally West over Barry, and I like Wally a lot. I think Wally's lighthearted personality and how he's always willing to believe in people, including his villains, has always been something that I've really enjoyed watching and reading, which always makes him feel like a bright star in any situation. But I like Barry slightly more, and I think it has to do with his guilt. As I look across my favorite characters, there's one common theme that seems to be amongst all of them, and that's their guilt and their sense of duty. And Barry is definitely one of those characters. Barry Allen was a normal kid who was bullied in school, and was always considered slower than everybody else, and he got picked on a lot because of it. But because of his parents, he never really stopped being happy. He gained strength and morals from his parents, and one day everything changed. While he was on his way home from school, his mom was murdered and his father was blamed for her death, even though he said he didn't do it. Barry lost his father and mother that day, but he always believed that his father was innocent, and he became a forensic scientist and tried to help people not go through the same situation that he did, while also trying to prove that his father was innocent on that day. The biggest thing Barry took away from this is that it was all of his fault, and his duty. He constantly replays that day in his head, wondering what would happen if he was just a little bit faster on the way home. He could have potentially saved his mom and his dad, and because he was slow, now it's his job to avenge his mom and save his dad. With the pain that Barry felt, he didn't want others to experience the same pain, so he dedicated his life to helping others even before he got his own abilities. And the biggest flaw of Barry Allen is his protective nature and his lack of self-preservation, and his unending need to do more and be more. Barry's one of the most selfless people in comics. If you don't know much about Barry, he actually sacrificed himself trying to stop the Anti-Monitor in Crisis on Infinite Earths, literally saving a whole bunch of lives, but also ending his in the process. And for a while, he was dead, like actually dead. During that time of Barry being dead, Wally West was the Flash. And eventually Barry does come back, and that's the story I wanted to talk about today. Flash Rebirth. You find out that Barry was stuck in the Speed Force for all those years, and he finally escapes. And the world celebrates his return. All of his friends are happy to see him and try to throw him parties, and the city throws him a parade, and they open up the Flash Museum again, brand new. And while all this is happening, Barry's just walking around the world and the Flash Museum, wondering what he could be doing right now, and what he should be doing. And he decides that he should be helping others. He comes back feeling like the world has left him behind. So, he needs to catch up. So instead of celebrating his return with his friends and family, Barry decides that he should start running and start helping people as soon as he can to make up for lost time. Something I love about this comic is how all the heroes talk about how much Barry has done for them. Jay talks about how if it wasn't for seeing Barry push his limits and try to save everyone, that he might not be the Flash today. He was originally going to retire, but seeing Barry Allen do so much and try to do so much to save people actually reinvigorated him to become the Flash and stay the Flash and start his own league. Wally talks about how he saw Barry as this hero, and how when he was younger, he was just this punk kid who was just a screw up. But Barry believed in him and laid his morals onto him and the importance of being the Flash and his powers. And because of Barry's time with Wally, Wally gained this sense of responsibility. He gained this sense of what it means to be a hero, and because of that time, he became the Flash and took his mantle over and became one of the best heroes in the DCU. Even though Barry may have been dead during that time, Barry has a huge impact on those around him. He still feels like this isn't enough, that he's wasting his time, and even being the fastest man alive, he still feels like he's running out of time. It turns out Barry was actually filled with negative Speed Force energy because of the Reverse Flash, which means that if Barry touches another speedster, they'll die. And Barry's friends try to help him. Literally, the Justice League is there, Wally, Jay, all of them are trying to help Barry, but he refuses. He refuses their help, and he doesn't want to get in anybody's way anymore. He doesn't want to hurt anyone anymore, and he tries to solve it by himself and runs into the Speed Force alone. And in the Speed Force, he figures out a way to get rid of the energy, but he isn't fast enough. He isn't strong enough. And he realizes that the only reason he was able to escape the Speed Force the first time, and he realizes that if it wasn't for Iris, if it wasn't for his family, his friends, he would have been lost in the Speed Force. And just when he's about to lose, his family arrives. Jay, Wally, all the other speedsters come to help him, and they beat the Reverse Flash and get rid of the negative Speed Force. And after all of this time, Barry realizes that what gave him his purpose, what gave him strength, was the time and relationships he made. The idea of us being behind or constantly in a rush for nothing is more about our own insecurities. We believe that the reason people like us or the reason people want us around is because we're able to do so much in so little time. So because we fear on losing those around us that we love, we work harder, we push ourselves more in hopes of being strong enough for them and good enough for people to still love us. But if we slow down, if we stopped running from our fears and our insecurities, we would find out that we were never behind, and that people never loved us for our strength, but for the time we spent with them. I like Barry Allen a lot, because he struggles with this understanding of how he feels. Barry's flaws are a huge thing that I relate to, and I like that even being the fastest man alive, he still isn't fast enough to do everything that he wants to do. It's that constant internal struggle that makes him a character I like to visit. The tragedy of never being able to do enough, yet doing as much as you can. He thinks by helping others and doing the most he can atone for something that isn't even his fault. So instead of dealing with his issues, he runs away, hoping to find the solution. And I find that the storyline that deals with this arc the best is Flashpoint. And in Flashpoint, Barry uses his powers to go back in time and save his mother. And when he does this, there are huge actions and consequences in the world, and the world is on the brink of destruction. Bruce Wayne dies, Superman is captured as a baby and put in prison, Hal Jordan dies in a plane crash, Atlantis and the Amazonians are at war with each other, and the world is about to end. But at the center of this storyline is just Barry wanting to see his mother again. This is the most selfish thing that Barry Allen has ever done, but also the most human he has been. And it's understandable to want to go back and change the past. We would all do the same thing if we had the Flash's powers. We would all do the same thing and want to save our mother. But Flashpoint teaches Barry that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And he finally gets closure and gets the guilt that he's carried around for years off of him by just talking to his mother. His mother's so proud of him and what he's doing and always doing the right thing, even when it's hard. And she tells Barry that her death isn't his fault, and that she wants him to let her go and live his life. In the most superhero way possible, Barry finally heals and moves on from his past. He realizes that he wasn't meant to do everything. He wasn't meant to carry the world on his back. He wasn't meant to carry the guilt. And once he takes that pressure off of him, he's finally able to become happy and enjoy the everyday moments instead of always chasing the next. Time is constantly moving, and when you rush around because you feel like you're behind, you realize that you leave everyone else behind, and you're passing your life by. So don't rush to the end. Realize that the race of life isn't actually a thing that you have to participate in. So don't run from your past. Don't run towards your future. Your life, your journey is something that isn't comparable to other people. So don't look around at others. Don't look at what they're doing. Don't look at yourself and say, oh, I'm so far behind. Just live your life. Enjoy your days. Look around you. Enjoy the funny jokes. Enjoy the tasty food. Enjoy the friends and family around you. And realize that every moment you're living in is a moment you can't get back. So enjoy it. And don't waste the moment that you're in right now. I'm proud of everyone. Stop rushing around and live in today. That's something Barry Allen taught me. Talk to you later, guys.